Hey everyone, it's Finn here with the NOLAnerdcast, joined by the great and only Jenny Windom of the Wholesome Games, Jenny Windoms. How are you doing today?
I am great. Yeah, please do not confuse me with the other Jenny Windoms out there,
There,
which there
there's only
is at
one.
least there was one other in Oregon because I was at the DMV and they were just like, "Which Jenny Wyndham are you?" And I was like, "Oh,
There's
who?
more than one.
What?" Uh,
Highlander
yeah.
rules dictate that you must now hunt them down and end them, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and then I realized in addition to the person at the DMV, I have sister-in-law who is also named Jenny.
Oh
And so
no,
there's 3 of us, I guess, in the world, but 1 within my vicinity, so at least I have to find her.
but only one that works at Wholesome Games and is on this show right now. So that makes you the
Yes.
better Jenny Wyndham, is
I'd
what
like
I'm
to
is,
think
is what
so.
I'm hearing. But yeah, so please tell us how you're doing and who you are and why you're here and what you do and all that fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, so many things. Well, I am doing great. I am, like you said, Jenny Wyndham, she, her. My day job now is Wholesome Games, which is something I get like little butterflies every time I get to say that that's my full-time work now, because for so many years it wasn't. And it was one of those things that was just sort of a pipe dream that would maybe happen in a decade. And it took less than a decade. So it's been really exciting for the whole team, really, because we all have been able to make it a reality for ourselves.
The whole
Um,
sum team.
the whole Sum team, exactly. And for folks who are unfamiliar, Wholesome Games is we're a bit of a unique entity because we began as a social media account curating games through a specific lens, specifically joyful, thoughtful, and hopeful games. Um, we then moved into creating showcases, and we have 2 showcases a year, Wholesome Snack and Wholesome Direct. We also have a Steam celebration that's going to be happening soon. So we moved into digital sale events as well. And then a few years ago, we also started publishing. So now we do events and we're a publisher. And it's
That's
honestly
so
my
wild
dream
considering.
job.
I
And
love it.
yeah, it's incredible.
And so before I get into delving more into that, I do want to point out that when we first met, you were not in the Wholesome Games realm. You were working for just indie games in general. And
Yeah.
the one where we first met and I got to first interview you, 2019, World
Mhm.
Next Door, PAX something or other, PAX East.
PAX East. Yeah. I think was that 2019 or 20 that was 2019, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, that was and that was right near the start of the Wholesome Endeavors. Like, I think that by that point, I had definitely talked to Matthew and James, who were starting the Wholesome Games accounts, but I was still just mostly doing community management at Rose City Games, and content creation with my YouTube and Twitch channels. So yeah, a long time ago. That's a blast from the past. The
Right.
interview that you linked was so fun.
But like that what's crazy is that it all started there and then I would just see you at other PAXs because you were still
Mhm.
doing like other Rose City games
Yep.
and just or other stuff. And it just became one of those things where I saw you. And then as you made the transition away from that side of the industry, you started mingling more with the people I was already hanging out with. And then you just kind of like were part of each other's friend circles. And it was just fun. And
Exactly.
it's just, and then that makes it even more like fun for me to see Wholesome Games blow up the way it has because I'm like, oh, if anyone deserves it, it's Jenny.
Oh
So
my gosh.
it's just
Yeah,
fun.
thank you. That's so sweet. I feel like honestly, like shout out to everyone on the Wholesome Games team. It's I and we talk about it in our Discord as well, where we are just like, man, we get to work with each other, and that is so cool because we all like each other and we get along and we have similar, like our values are aligned. And so it makes decisions go really smoothly. And it's fun to have that be affirmed again and again and get to work with the team that I get to work with because um, that is not always the case in a work environment. And
No,
so it's
no, it
just
is
really,
not.
really nice. Yeah.
it's it's a rare thing and that it makes it even better because I think it would be really depressing to find out that the squad behind Wholesome Games was super
Oh my
toxic,
gosh.
right?
Right?
Like,
You know the meme that the sort of meme template going around on short form videos where it's like me before the Netflix documentary?
yeah,
I was
just
like, man, I should
Jenny tells all.
the temptation I have to make one for like me before the Wholesome Games Netflix documentary, but I'm like, no, people would take that too serious and like, and it's
Unless it was
not the case.
the before and after were literally the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be the only way that worked. But
Exactly.
so how why don't you like just so Wholesome Games has had this evolution, but how did you guys get together and decide let's make this something real, not just because I think it's
Mhm.
fascinating, like take it from each step, because going from just making it a
Mm,
thing and then doing your own directs, which I want to give a quick shout out because you crushed it at the latest direct. I think it was
yeah.
during PAX, right? Or was it no Summer Game Fest?
Summer Game Fest,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you were like, I have to skip out today. I've got to handle this direct. But we just broke six. Was it 6,000?
Oh, no, I think it was around 6,000,000 at the
6 million. Yeah,
time, probably
that's a
higher
much
at
bigger deal.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, here it is. Hold on. Um you broke 10K followers on the
Yes,
Twitch, but your viewers, yeah, were six point
like
six
across
million viewers.
all
That's
the
that's
platforms, yeah.
wild in the best way. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
here we go. Here's what you shared. Like 6.6 million views, 1,300 co-streamers, which is phenomenal. 20,000 wish lists increases for the games you featured,
on
and
average,
over
yeah.
$9,000 at that time raised for the Transgender Law Center. And like, come on, that's phenomenal no matter how you look at it, especially for something not attached to a major publisher or a AAA studio. Like the only
Yeah,
people doing similar things are our friends at 6-1 Indie.
it's really it's incredible to see, and it's, every year I feel so excited because mentally I am usually a glass half full person, but I also feel like I'm a realist in the sense that I know that eventually we will hit some sort of plateau and that's a-okay, and that, eternal exponential growth is
No,
not
sorry. I-
oh, no worries.
infinite growth or nothing. Okay, if
Yeah,
you do, if Wholesome Games isn't catering to the needs of its shareholders, then what are we even doing?
no, we don't
Come
need
on,
that.
Jenny.
We don't need that. And so I think I've always tried to temper my expectations while also remaining excited and hopeful for like, to see the bubble continue to grow and not burst quite yet. Um, but yeah, it was incredible to see that even after all these years, we're able to keep things fresh, keep things exciting. The games that we got were so wonderful this year. It was just a particularly strong group of titles, I think. And we also got what is it, the Twitch badge this year. That was our first time trying that. Thanks to the team at Twitch. Shout out to them. And I think the combination of all of that, plus I think just a generally more excited and hyped up SGF in general, like this whole Summer Game Fest period seemed more, I don't know, optimistic and hopeful in a lot of ways. So I think we benefited from that as well. And yeah, it was just a really, really great year.
That's fantastic. Now, I've always been curious, just the behind the scenes aspect. How much of a show like that is you reaching out to indie devs that you've hunted down versus
Mm.
them reaching out to you and being like, "Hey, I have a game I feel is wholesome. Can you please feature me?" Like, how does that conversation work? I've always been fascinated by like directs and showcases and stuff. Like, who approaches who?
I can't speak for the others. I imagine they're somewhat similar, but for us, I would say the vast majority are folks submitting to the forum without us necessarily asking or reaching out to them. There are titles that we like to keep in touch with that we reach out to and say, hey, if you happen to have an announcement that would fit in this timeline, we would love for you to consider submitting. And so we do like to put those gentle reminders out for titles that we are personally especially excited for or that we know our audience is excited for. So there's a mix, but I think it leans more towards organic submissions coming in through the form.
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, I do have this is a fun question that I just thought of for a second. What would a game that you would love to feature even though it's definitively not wholesome? Like is there a game that
Definitively
doesn't
not wholesome.
not wholesome, but you're like, man, I wish we could showcase this just because I love this game so much, but I can't because it
Oh
is
man.
by definition not wholesome.
I mean, that's a really good and very tough question. My brain, honestly, there are 2 games that really came to mind that I would love to feature. Both have very wholesome themes, I think just wouldn't necessarily resonate with our audience, and that would be Final Fantasy. Like, any Final
Fair,
Fantasy game
yeah.
would be so fun.
Final Fantasy
Uh,
Resonance is featured on the Wholesome Games.
Honestly, if anyone at Square Enix wants to reach out, we could probably make something work. I will just make it work. And then also, I am such a Deltarune fangirl. I love
Yeah.
Deltarune, and I think the gameplay is so challenging. Like, it is not a game for the faint of heart with some of its gameplay, but at the same time, I do feel like the themes as a whole are so wholesome, but they do have a lot of really dark things going on in that game.
Yeah.
So Deltarune is maybe the other one where, man, if we could get the chapter 6 or 7 or both of those announcements in there,
You'd make it
I would
work.
love that. Yeah, we
What
would
about
find a way to make it work.
what about Grave Seasons?
Oh, Grave
Because like the
Seasons is another
gameplay
one.
makes it feel perfect for the Wholesome Games thing,
Well,
but then the
exactly,
themes you're
yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think at its core, and this is sort of the struggle because I think at its core, Grave Seasons has a lot of really wholesome themes, about community, about helping one another, but the blood curdling screams, the murder,
You know,
and the possibility for some really dark stuff to happen makes it not quite not quite
not
the
quite
fit.
viable.
But love the team. I'm dear friends with some of the folks on the team, and yeah, that game would be great to be able to feature. But I mean, I know there's a couple of, I think it's like cozy dark showcases that are, I think, coming off the ground. So might see something in those. That's kind of cool that those are
There you
happening too. Exciting to see that this sort of niche is broadening. Um, I do feel like it is broadening, which is really
Oh,
cool.
it is. I think it's wild that there are now 3 upcoming games involving farming simulators that are also really dark and
Yeah.
psychologically horror-y,
Yeah. Shout out to Elderfield and Grimshire in addition to Grave
and
Seasons.
Fractured Blooms. Oh, I
Yeah,
guess there's 4
Fractured
now.
Blooms. Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Look at us.
There we
It's like that
go.
meme where it's like if I had a nickel for every time this particular game was
Yeah.
coming out, I apparently would have 4 nickels, which is wild, but okay.
Honestly, it's a great I'm glad we have those 4 nickels.
Right? 100%. Now, this might be just me thinking that you're so important you wear every single hat. So please correct me
No.
if I'm wrong. But one of the things I've loved ever since like the early days of Wholesome is that you always have that merch, like the shirt for that year.
Mhm.
Who's behind that? Because doesn't
It's
every
a
year the design
pretty
change the feature like that year's games?
Yeah, it's quite a collaborative process, because let's see, I mean, we have the devs who are accepted into the showcase, they sort of submit to be a part of that shirt, so the devs are a part of it. The whole team at Wholesome, we all sort of pick and help pick out what characters and sort of pictures make that final cut for the shirt. We work with the Yeti. This past year, we worked with the Yeti on the actual making of the shirt. And then we have our artist who, Saffron is our artist, who puts together the actual like makeup of where all the characters go. So it's a huge team effort. Definitely, I am not the only one behind that for sure. And so it's wonderful. It's one of my favorite parts of our showcase, because we've had, I think all of us really hope that not just gaming as an entity could do good, but just as individuals, I think all of us want to make something that changes the world in a better way, even outside of games, or in addition to the games that we help support. And so knowing that our showcases have something that tangibly go towards an organization that is doing really important work, uh, this year, in the US, specifically with trans rights, that means a lot to us, and so it's one of my favorite parts of the show that we do every year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is like it's really cool because especially nowadays where the industry where all the news is so dire and depressing and
Yeah.
tragic like all the time, it's really cool that there are still moments and communities that are doing the good fighting the good fight.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I feel like you and your community do that. I feel like there's so much, especially in the indie space, I feel like there's a lot of really good stuff happening. So, yeah, it's really cool. And at the end of the day, I hope everyone is empowered to do something, even just a little thing, but it's it's important.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that you've progressed also to the publishing aspect.
Yes.
Like how I assume that felt like very natural to go from one to the other. It kind of reminds me of a the Among Us team starting to
Mm,
do their own publishing thing. But it's like, how did that conversation go where you guys decided, hey, maybe we should try this and start actually doing our own part to bring these games to life? And what's your process with deciding what games to partner with or feature?
yeah, the conversation, it was an extended one. I remember it was something we had in our sort of bigger goal setting meetings and sync ups. It was something we had vocalized and talked about and wanted to do, but we wanted to make sure to do it right and to do it slowly and sustainably enough that if it ended up not being the right fit for us, we weren't, leaving developers in the lurch or doing anything that could potentially, I don't know, ruin what we already had built in terms of trust with our community. And so I believe Jess, who is the developer for Usagi Shima, reached out to Matthew, and they had a conversation where essentially Jess vocalized looking for some specific marketing support and additional help with the launch of Usagi Shima on mobile. And that turned into eventually us saying, well, hey, let's provide. We can do that. That is something within our purview. We know how to do. We know confidently that we can do this decently well. Let's try it and see what happens. And it went well. And eventually, we signed with Manami Lane and those developers. And each game has offered us this opportunity to grow just a little bit in our purview of what we do as a publisher. And so what's really exciting is it started with, I think, mostly me and Matthew kind of helping with that end. And now it's much more like with James and Victoria coming in, and we're doing not just the marketing stuff, we're helping recommend sale information. Sorry if you can hear the people yelling outside my window. Um,
They're just
we're
really
helping
excited that you're on.
yeah, they're just so pumped about me being hanging out with you. And yeah, I think what's been really cool and perhaps a little bit more unique is that we have grown with each of the titles that we've signed. And I think I can feel us as a team growing in our capabilities and our confidence with every game that we help out. And that's really exciting to see. Um, in terms of selecting the games, I think we are unique also in that we don't offer funding, so we are primarily offering that marketing support in addition to post-launch support, event support, things like that. And so we really only work for a very specific type of developer, and that is intentional because the developers who work with us don't necessarily want to make big games. They just want to make sure that their game reaches a specific audience. And that is something that we can do. And so I think what's interesting is when we look at games, in addition to just looking for games that we're excited about as a team, that we find fun, we're trying to make sure that the developers who are signing with us and working with us understand our limitations as a small team that does not provide funding. Um, that understand maybe what their own goals are. And so, especially for teams that are totally new to game development, oftentimes I say maybe you do need a publisher that offers more support or more funding for that different type of security versus us where I think we do best with devs who maybe have pushed a game or two out into the world. So it's a unique situation, one that isn't perfect for every dev, but honestly, I don't think any publisher is perfect for any dev really. So it's been exciting to see the types of games that we have been gravitating toward and signing in that way.
That's awesome. I had another question and then I lost it because you were just talking about cool stuff.
No.
Uh,
Oh god,
uh,
sorry.
oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I was answering your
No.
question, and then no, it's that's just ADHD brain. I got sidetracked by paying attention to what you were saying, and then it flitted off into the
Relatable.
ether. But so but I can pivot. I'm a professional ish, quote unquote. So the Steam sale, that is the you saying that is the first I'd heard that that was coming, like working on an actual Steam sale. Like that is also a huge deal. Steam
Yeah.
sales by themselves are their own little mini gaming events. So how did
Mhm.
that come about? Who approached who on that? What is it even going to entail? And that's just awesome. That's not a question. That's just a statement.
Yeah, I think, golly, I feel like this is maybe our I wish maybe I feel like James would remember. He's got such good memory for dates. I have such a poor memory for timing of things. I feel like we've done this maybe 4 years in a row now. It feels like we've
Oh yeah,
done
I
it.
definitely knew that.
Um,
I was totally
yeah, I
aware.
mean, there's so many Steam sales, so I do not assume everyone knows about every Steam sale. I think I feel like the original idea behind it honestly came about, I think, as a way to sort of fill in, um, kind of the extra time we had in between showcases. I remember us having conversations of like, we have this thing in June, we have this thing in December. We'd love to sort of fill out our calendar to just make more stuff happen, for us to keep us busy, but also to provide more opportunities to developers. And so I think that's where sort of the August timeline really came about. Was this seemed like far enough away from the direct where we were rested enough that we could do this, and just ahead of the December timing where, more showcases are happening then. So I think that's kind of where it happened. And Steam has a process where you pretty much you organize the titles in a list, you pitch it to Steam, they accept it or they say no. And so we were lucky in that
Fair.
we have a great relationship with Steam. They accepted it and they've returned to accepting it ever since. And so that's been really nice. But yeah, there are a lot of Steam sales now, which is like such a cool, I don't know. I really like the fact that we have Steam sales that are thematically
Right? Yeah.
organized, Wholesome Games, Wholesome Steam Celebration being one of them, but it's just so nice to see more of these happening for players, cuz if you do know about the ones that cater to your taste, they can be such good places to find good deals on games.
Fantastic. And I that was all a trick question. I knew all that ahead of time.
Yeah,
Clearly,
exactly.
yeah,
Thanks for keeping me on my toes.
exactly. Thank you for understanding. But I would like to pivot to away from wholesome games and more to just Jenny. Like
Oh,
how
no.
what's your origin story? Like I like to find out like how did you first get into the hobby? Like what brought you into the realm of gaming, and then
Yeah.
how did you find your way into the industry? Like what was your process?
Mm.
Because everyone's story is always so unique.
Yeah. I feel like fortunately, I feel like my gaming story is I don't know how unique it is. Maybe getting into the industry is unique, but we all kind of fall in here. I feel like we all fall into the industry in such odd ways
Yep.
sometimes. I don't know.
I'd love to tell you mine one day. It's
Yes. Oh
fun.
my gosh, I would love to hear it. Um, as far as my origin story, I grew up playing games. I remember my dad had a PC. We weren't allowed to play the games he was playing. I think he was playing like Orange Box or some like the
Okay.
Valve Orange Box.
Yeah.
So we weren't allowed to play that. But we had a SNES that he got us, I think, to placate us for not being able to touch the PC for those games. And so my brother and I played a lot of Nintendo. And that was like how I cut my teeth as a kid was Mario, was different RPGs like Secret of Mana,
Yeah.
Illusion of Gaia, like
Nice.
the good stuff. And really grew up as a Nintendo kid. I played a lot of Pokemon when I was younger, and I loved, loved, loved Harvest Moon 64. That game had hundreds of hours. I'm pretty sure it had hundreds of hours on that cartridge. Um, was so dedicated to that game. I would get in so much trouble because I would try and I had somehow convinced my mom there was a TV in my room, which I don't even know how I got that, to be quite frank. I think it was like an old one that we were going to throw away because my dad had bought like a newer TV and I like got to keep it. And I would, when I was supposed to be in bed, turn it on, turn the volume down super low and try and play it when I was supposed to be sleeping because
Of
I needed
course.
to farm. You
Those
couldn't stop
cows
me from
aren't going to
farming.
sell their own milk.
Exactly. And my mom did not understand and she would get so mad. But and we played a lot of Final Fantasy as well. We had Final Fantasy 7 on the PC. Once we got old enough, to handle being on the computer, our dad would let us go and play Final Fantasy. And my brother and I would have half-hour stints because my mom only let us play half an hour a day. And we would have to like combine our half hour so we could get through an epic like Final Fantasy
Right?
7.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine playing Final Fantasy 7 in 30-minute chunks.
It was so excruciating. My mom did not understand. But I guess this meant we were more adjusted because we had to play outside. So this is
Same.
hopefully a pro. Um, but yeah, I fell out of gaming when I was in college because there were just a lot of games that I felt like weren't for me, other than, visiting Pokemon every so often again or playing the Final Fantasy. Those were really the only games I'd play. But after college, I discovered indie games. And oh, it was magical. I don't know. When did you discover indie games?
I think it was around the time of like the PS3 when
Mhm.
downloadable titles were first becoming a thing and they were like the small indie games.
Yeah.
So stuff like the 360 and the PS3 digital titles was my first example with it because I didn't really have a gaming PC at the time. So those were
Yeah.
the only ways I could play these games. And I used to love like every week going on and finding what random game because these were games that weren't getting hyped and marketed and stuff. They were still so small and crazy, like Geometry Wars and stuff like
Oh my
that.
god. Yes.
But you and then slowly they became like bigger and bigger hits. I remember when things like Braid would drop, and then that was like
Mm.
that
Mhm.
was taken over. Suddenly, indie games are being talked about in the same conversations as these big like traditional titles. And
Yeah.
then with each successive generation, and then Steam kind of blowing up on the scene around the same time,
Yep.
because I remember distinctly getting Half-Life 2 on the PC and it came with Steam. And I was like, what is this? And yeah, that's it's crazy. So
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, that's amazing. I missed out on the downloadable PS3 like little game slices there. I'm so sad I missed out on that. I got introduced to Steam. Yeah, after college, I for some reason re-downloaded Steam and I was just browsing and I discovered To the Moon just
oh,
organically. I don't know
oh,
how.
what a good game to start with.
Right? I
Just devastate yourself emotionally, why not?
I know. It was the perfect game to bring me back in because I was like, "Okay, what do we got on the PC? Let me just browse Steam." And for some reason, yeah, To the Moon was the game that I saw. I think the Steam description, it just enticed me enough. I was like, "Whatever. I'll just give it a try."
I
How
bet
bad
because
could it
also
be? How good
visually it
could
looked just like all those Super Nintendo games that you loved.
That's so I never thought of that. That's a really good point. It's just, yeah, it reminded me of yesteryear, the
Exactly.
good old days of
Yeah.
gaming. Um, but yeah, I played To the Moon and my life was forever changed because I realized indie games were a thing. I realized other games besides Final Fantasy 7 could make you cry, or Final Fantasy 10, could make you cry,
Or
and it
Final
was
Fantasy
amazing.
6, you should play that.
I haven't played it yet. I
It's
need
the
to
best
play it.
one.
I'm doing my finalist fantasy challenge. Actually, I'm going to be starting it next week, where I'm going through the Final Fantasy games, all of them. I'm so excited.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah. So eventually I will report back once Final Fantasy 6 has made me cry.
My
Um,
daughter's middle name is from Final Fantasy 6. She's
oh
named
my
after my
gosh.
favorite Final
Freya.
Fantasy character, Celis.
Celis. Oh my gosh. Oh, good. It's funny because I know these characters. I've seen them. I know their themes, like the music. I
Of
already
course,
know
yeah.
it. Just have to play. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. But yeah, that's To the Moon kind of kickstarted my my indie journey along with games like oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. It's a princess game where it's like you're a princess trying to survive until your coronation, and I am blanking on the name, but that was a very early
Hold
game.
on. I know.
Oh my gosh.
Keep talking. I'm
Is
gonna
it go
find it out.
it's like something Save the Queen maybe? I'm not sure. Um, but there's a game that was about, like, burning things that I just absolutely loved. Um, but, yeah, I played all of these kind of
Long
weird.
live the queen.
Long Live the Queen, thank you. It's like there's
It's
Queen
currently
somewhere in there.
65% off on Steam.
There we go. Steam Summer Sale, it's pretty good. Um, but yeah, I fell back in love with gaming when I discovered indie games, and I really haven't looked back since, honestly.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
And also I love that To the Moon was your gateway back into this. And look where you've come from now. It's
I
almost like
know.
your career has gone to the moon.
Oh,
Um
hey,
but
there we go.
yeah. So um I do I do want to briefly like let you know because it's always it's again it's fun how everyone's different. My journey into the industry was completely random. I started the NOLA Nerdcast with my friend as just a comics only podcast in 2011, and we grew it to the point where we eventually got press passes to San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh,
So I
hey,
went there.
that's pretty good.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we started dabbling in gaming stuff, but I went there and I was at a press party for the launch of Dragon Ball Z Resurrection of Frieza the movie. And I was talking to somebody at the party, and turns out they were like one of the people that helped set up the party and organized it. And we were talking, and she asked for my card because I had just graduated in college with my master's in marketing. And I was like, I want to do games because I love video games or whatever. And then I went home. Turns out she's the vice president of a PR firm that works in the industry. They
Oh
had
my
set up the
gosh.
party, and she like reached out and was like, would you like to, you know, work with us? So I did. And like Funimation was one of my first clients, and that transitioned to Bandai
Oh,
Namco, which got me fully into games. And then I did Arc System Works. And that's just how I started working in the games full time.
that's so cool. I did not know that.
Yeah. I stumbled into it. Absolutely. Like it's just one of those things where turns out if you just have conversations and aren't a terrible person, sometimes things just work out sometimes. I don't know.
You gotta
It's been
love it.
fun.
I also
It,
just realized I did not answer how I got into the
Oh yeah, we
industry.
completely talked about the games. So To the Moon got you back
Yeah.
into gaming, but the industry was
Yeah,
ta-da.
so the industry was interesting because I was actually teaching, classroom teacher, middle school,
Oh,
doing that full time, was planning for that to be my career. Games was not in the cards for me, and it's funny you asked this because I just today was reflecting and thinking, what made me start YouTube? And it was a combination of I was trying to figure out ways to get back into gaming regularly. I wanted to bring games into the classroom because I think gaming literacy is really important. It's an important type of literacy that kids need to develop. And I also had a friend who was doing Let's Plays, and he was kind of like, yeah, there's this, you should just do it. And I had watched people like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye since I was in high school, like forever. But I had never thought of actually doing it. And so since he was doing it, I was like, okay, this is kind of a fun way to do the things that I wanted to do. And it's just kind of a fun way to like bond with my friend. And, we're just going to do it as a side, whatever. And I got a YouTube message from the CEO or like head of publishing of this one company that said, I've been watching your content. You're covering all of these indie games that nobody else is really covering that are on our platform. I had no idea. And he said, hey, would you like a job? Would you like a job creating
neat.
content? And I said, this feels like a scam, but sure, why not? Send me a contract and I'll look at it. I had no idea what I was doing. I tried to sound confident. I was like, send me a contract that I could look at. And it turned out this company was real And it was my job part-time for quite some time doing content for this company. Eventually, I started doing their social media channels and community management, and that was it. It came to a point where they offered me a full-time gig, and it was paying more than I was earning teaching, and I was working less hours and having a little bit more fun, to be quite frank. And while I loved teaching and I loved the kids, it was a much more appealing offer to me.
Yeah.
So I took it and said, if it doesn't pan out, I got my teaching license. I can always come back, in a year. And fortunately, it worked
You
out.
haven't had to, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you from that point, how did you meet up with Matthew and the others?
Yeah, I mean, Victoria and I had known each other for a few years because we both were community managers. I had met her when she was at Kit Fox and I was at Rose City Games. And so we
That's when I
both
met
kind
her.
of were like, yeah, coming up around the same time and like in the industry, in the same place around the same time. And Matthew and James, I believe we were just mutuals on Twitter. Like,
Back
man,
when that was a good thing.
back when it was functional. Yeah, miss those days because it really was Twitter was really a place to be able to meet other people in the industry who are like-minded. And I honestly built so much of my career by being active on Twitter. So it is hard to think about sometimes and look back, but I'm glad we met, glad we maintained contact. And I think the first time we met in person was I had pitched a panel for PAX East 2020 called The Case for Cozy. And this was, this was, I think, one of the first panels I had pitched to PAX East. And I had invited James to be a part of it as well to talk about why cozy games were significant. Victoria was a part of the panel. Kara, who was part of the Slime Rancher team at the time, was part of it. And I believe was Josh Boykin. I think Josh Boykin was also a part of it. So it's just
Yes.
like a good
Oh,
crew. Like
what a
honestly,
great dude.
really good panel all around. And it was so much fun. And that was the first time I got to meet James and Matthew in person right before lockdown. So
What
yeah, it
perfect timing. Yay.
was perfect timing.
Um Going back to you and like just you as a person, I always like to
Yeah.
ask my guests like what is it that you're currently enjoying? What is it that you're currently playing that brings you joy? Like
Mm,
what is it in it doesn't just have to be games, just in your
yeah.
life. Like what is bringing Jenny joy? And then it can also be about games. Like what games are you currently playing if
Okay.
any? And then finally, uh what is something on the horizon that you're very excited about?
Ooh. Okay. Well, you given me the opportunity to talk about Deltarune.
Break it down.
I I'm sorry to everyone listening who is like, "Oh my god, Deltarune, really?" Yes, really. I am so
Oh, how dare you
deep.
enjoy a hugely popular game that just had a new
Yeah.
chapter come out? Oh, you
Oh my
monster.
gosh. Chapter 5 came out, and you know what's fascinating? I feel like the community is so divided on chapter 5, where after it's about 4 hours to complete this chapter, highly worth it, and I ended it and I was like, "This is exactly what I needed." It is so beautiful and hopeful, and you feel the energy and the buildup because the Deltarune, for folks who may not be familiar, it is coming out in episodes, essentially chapters, and it has 7 chapters planned. We just got the 5th one, and so chapter 6 and 7, I'm hoping he launches them at the same time, but we might have
We're
2
hoping.
separate drops, we'll see. But yeah, I've been really enjoying playing it. I loved it so much. And then seeing all of the reactions, and right now I'm just like feasting on all the lore videos, the theory videos, and the reactions of people who both loved it and both didn't love it. I just love diving into sort of fandom like that. I don't make any of these videos. I just absorb as much as I can. So that has been so much fun for me. The theories are off the wall. Some of them are just bonkers.
Don't hate me, but I haven't played it yet because I'm waiting for it all to be collected into one so I can just
Yeah.
mainline it into my brain And I try and do that most of the time with episodic stuff. I like to wait till it's out because I
Yes.
am a very impatient person when I get really into something. I don't want to wait. Just so far nothing's been spoiled. I've been very lucky. I don't know
That's
anything
so
about this
good.
game. I have managed to go years with nothing coming
That's
into my.
so incredible.
I
Honestly,
know.
that makes me so I am so, so happy for you. I There's a part of me I do not regret playing it episodically because I have been such a glutton again for the theory crafting. I don't typically do episodic games, but I have so much trust in Toby Fox's ability as a writer that I feel okay doing this episodically because I trust that he will stick the landing.
Fair.
Normally, I don't do episodic games as well because I'm like, I want to be able to get to the end because usually sticking the landing is a bit more variable. But I wish I was in your shoes where I could play it for the first time just all in one go because that's going to be honestly, you might have to text me your reactions as you play. Like I need
You know
a
what?
live
You do
react
you do the same for
channel.
Final Fantasy 6 and I'll do it
Okay.
for Deltarune.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, this is a gift. I'm so excited. The game is beautiful. I think it is. I love Undertale, and I think Deltarune is far superior to Undertale already, and it's not even done. Um, just you can tell he has grown as a developer, as a storyteller, and what I think is most exciting is that he has a team of people helping him, and you
Really?
can feel the difference in the quality and the energy that other team members are bringing to this project. And I think it's a really good testament to one person can make something incredible. Undertale is absolutely a masterpiece, but Deltarune, through the ability of all these other people that he's been able to hire and bring into the project, I think has become something far, far more exciting to engage with as a player. So that's what I'm super into in terms of games. Um, I'm listening to BTS, their latest album, Arirang. It's been out for a minute, but it's still going nonstop for me. So shout out to anyone who's BTS Army who loves. I don't know if you listen to any BTS at all.
Uh Off and on, like
It's
when it
okay
pops.
if you don't.
Well,
Yeah.
no, like I'm aware of several of their songs, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't like listen to them actively. The
Yeah.
closest I've gotten to K-pop fandom is loving Huntrix and K-pop Demon Hunters with my daughter, who
Yes.
has adorned my shirt today with her
I
new stickers.
know. Oh,
She was
so
just she
cute.
just kept giving to me. She was like, "Daddy, you get this one, and you get Mira,"
Oh,
because I was Mira for Halloween, and
oh my God.
she was Rumi. It was great.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I mean, if that's where your K-pop emphasis is, that's like golden. Hey.
Ah,
Uh,
this girl. Come on now. You'll love
I
to
had
see
to.
it.
You brought it, I had
Thank
to,
you.
like, go
Yeah.
back, you know?
I
Um,
saw I lobbed it up for you.
yeah, thank you. But, yeah, I've really enjoyed BTS's comeback, and it's funny because I have listened to them for a very significant part of my life, like, since I was in my teens. Um, yeah, wow, that's kind of
Hey,
have a
sometimes
moment
that hurts, right?
to pay your respects here. Yeah, no, this kind of wild to think about. So I've been listening to them for a really good chunk of my life. And for folks who aren't familiar with BTS, they are a Korean pop band, global at this point, but they're based from Korea. And in Korea, you have military service that even if you are a celebrity, you are not exempt from. And so the group essentially went on hiatus for a few years. And I was thinking, okay, when they come back from hiatus, I'm in my mid to late 30s. Like, it'll be fun, but I don't think I'll be into them anymore. And what's been really exciting is that their sound has matured to a point, and also the fact that they're also in their 30s. I just feel like I am still able to listen to them and appreciate what they bring, and it's been fun thinking about how I've kind of grown up with this group and they've grown up with their audience in a lot of ways. So that's been really cool. And I get to see them in September, which I'm so excited about.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going with my mom, so that'll be really fun.
That's even cooler.
Yeah.
That's awesome when when I hear stuff like that. Because
Yeah, my
I'm really
mom.
close with my parents, so it's really cool when other
Yeah.
people are like, "Yeah, I actually like doing things with my parents."
Yes. Oh my gosh. Do you have anything like that you I don't know, like, for me, my mom has always wanted to see BTS, so I'm like, "I'm gonna take you to a BTS concert." Do you have anything like that, like, with your parents that you've gotten to do or that you're hoping to do?
Um, for the most part, everything I enjoy is not stuff they're into. Like they support me, and
Mhm.
they will patiently let me ramble to them about whatever I'm currently really into. But the thing both my parents and I have grown up loving is the Muppets.
Oh,
And so we've all the movies, TV shows we'll watch together.
sweet.
But one really cool thing is, so my wife, she's a big Disney person because her dad's a Disney
Mhm.
engineer. So
Oh,
she
that's
grew up at
cool.
Disney, and he, shout out, this is just really cool. He designed their firework shows. Like he
Oh,
has
wow.
like 7 patents for different fireworks. Shout out to him. You know the firework that blows up into a Mickey shape?
Oh my gosh, no way.
That was him. So cool. And then he shifted over
Whoa.
after 9/11. He shifted to the product development side and created their PhotoPass system. Anyway,
Oh my gosh, whoa.
so all that is to say that because he works for Disney, she grew up always being able to go to Disney, and I
Mhm.
never did really because that was expensive. And
Yeah.
but now I do get to. And what's really cool is when they just changed that Aerosmith ride over to Muppets, I got to
Oh.
bring my parents to the soft opening of that,
Oh, that's
and
so cool.
it was super cool. Um, yeah, just neat.
I love that.
So
Yeah, it's
Muppets, that's my
funny.
answer. The Muppets.
I just it's really neat to hear, and I agree, it's nice to hear when people are like, "Oh, I get along with my parents, and these are the ways that I still, like, connect with them now that I'm an adult and they're also adults." So, that's really
Right?
cool.
Like a lot of it they still just don't get. Like I cannot convince them that cartoons can be for adults. Like just because something's animated does not mean it's for kids. Like I keep trying to
Yeah.
show them a range of different things, and it's just their eyes glaze over. They're like, "Nope, it's animated. I'm out." And I'm like, "You know
No.
what? I can't force it." But thankfully, when their granddaughters ask to watch something, they
Mm,
don't like preemptively disregard it. They'll sit and watch it with them, and I'm hoping
yeah.
eventually that will teeter them over, wear them down by
Yeah.
attrition.
I
But
was
yeah,
gonna say, you it's like, if you're watching it, you're gonna see like, you can't help
exactly.
but see that it's
Yeah.
it's not just for kids anymore, which is great. Like
My
K-pop
dad
Demon
my
Hunters for
dad did
real.
used to watch Dragon Ball Z with me as a kid after school.
Oh my
So,
gosh, that's so cool.
that was the one thing he ever, like, sat down and actually experienced with me. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's fun. Now
Yeah.
what are you looking forward to into the future? What does the future hold for Jenny?
Um, on a very personal level, actually the
Yes.
near future, as in, like, 2 days from now, 3 days,
Okay.
July 4th, I'll be running my first half marathon, which is,
That's
like
awesome and
I'm so
impressive. I
excited.
still have not done that yet.
It's it's funny how much of this millennial life what is it? Like, millennial midlife
Mhm. The
crisis
millennial
moment.
midlife crisis. You're not buying a
Exactly.
Ferrari, you're just going on 5Ks.
Yeah, I go on a race, start a podcast. Yeah, I've got my checklist. I've done all of those things. But yeah, I've been training up for a half marathon and I've always run like I've been a kind of a runner on and off all my life and I've run longer distances, but I've never signed up for a race like this at this distance in the July heat, which I'm also a little bit nervous about,
Wait, where are
but
you based out of?
Portland, which we've got a bit
Okay.
of a cool sort
That's
of front
nicer then.
happening right now, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it stays cool at least until about 10 a.m. on July 4th.
Yeah.
After that, heat waves can
Would you like to
happen
come down to the
24.
south
No,
and come
thank
run
you.
over?
Oh my
No,
god.
you're not feeling that? No? You don't
No,
like the fact that it was 95 degrees today?
oh, please no. I would be incapacitated. I would just
Yeah.
not even I don't even go outside when it's that hot. It's so
Oh,
uncomfortable for me.
that's
Uh,
awesome though.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and so that'll be really fun. I specifically chose this race because it's one of the most I think it is one of the flattest, if not the flattest, half marathon course in the US.
Nice. So you don't have to
So,
mess with elevation.
no elevation. Honestly, the only way it could get better if it was just a straight downhill run.
Downhill.
Um, so I'm feeling at least confident in my ability to finish, and that is my only goal. I don't have a time goal. I just want to finish, and that is all that I
I
care
think that's
about
a
at this point.
solid goal. Like you just do it. Do the thing, right? Like worry about getting better at
Exactly.
it later.
Yep.
First step is doing it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm in the near future, very near future, looking forward to. But a little further out, honestly, I have such a good sort of concert schedule this year. I've never been a person to go see shows, but for some reason, this year is the year of shows for me. I saw Purity Ring 2 months ago, which was outstanding. They're a great, like, sort of electronic pop group that I've been following since high school. But I get to see BTS in September. And then in, what is it, October? I believe the Undertale Symphony is coming to Portland, and
Oh,
I got tickets under the guise, which is true, it's for my brother's birthday, as like a sort of birthday gift that will happen not on his birthday. But since he's going, I was like, I got tickets for myself to go with him, obviously.
of
So we get
course.
to listen to Undertale in
So
October.
selfless of you.
It's I will if I must, I will.
Yeah, like
So,
it's a real hard decision you've had to make. That's
yeah,
awesome.
but especially my brother and I, he was the one who recommended Undertale to me, so that is kind of a special and we also again, I grew up playing games with my
With
brother,
him,
like,
yeah.
that's yeah, so it's gonna be a really fun just fun thing to do to celebrate Undertale and my brother's birthday.
And then once you do the Undertale show, eventually they'll do an Undertale Deltarune show, and
Oh
you'll
my
already be
gosh.
established. So
I don't even I was thinking about that today on my run, actually, where I was thinking about how eventually they'll have the Delta and the Deltarune soundtrack is huge, it's gonna be incredible, so
hopefully for your sake, they surprise you with some Deltarune tracks, like just snuck them in, you know?
oh my gosh.
Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? If they did, I would perish. I would just evaporate off of the earth just because 'cause I'd be so excited, but, that would be amazing if they did.
That's awesome. And but it's so cool because like you can see it in your face just how excited just the idea of doing this stuff is. And I love that.
Yeah.
Like who doesn't love talking about stuff that makes people happy? You
Yeah,
know?
oh my gosh. Wait, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Um Lots of games, obviously.
Mhm.
But in terms of life stuff, um I have a my day job has a uh we've just started, we got cleared to sell in Europe. We just
Oh,
got certified to sell in Europe. And so since part of my job is
dang.
I'm the trade show director for this company, um
Mm.
I'm organizing our first international show, and so it's going to be in London. And so I get to take my family to London, and none of us have been
My
there before, and that's going to be
that's
really cool.
so
For
cool.
them, I'll be working like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., but I will like try and stay like an extra day or two just so I can enjoy the city
Good.
too. But it's going to be cool. Like I'm excited for them.
Wow.
And then the other the other thing,
And
yeah,
you
and
still get
me,
to be
sure.
there.
But it is good, objectively cool. I like doing it. It's fun. I do enjoy my day job, even though it's not as fun as the games industry. Um,
Mhm.
Medical trade shows are not as cool or as exciting, but they are in objectively better places.
Yeah, I was
Because
gonna say, I bet
because
they're
yeah,
quite
well,
nice.
the philosophy is like they have to be in locations where the surgeons are going to want to take their families and attend the show. Like they're
Mm.
surgeons. They don't really get vacation days like
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
So
point.
so they're going to like get CME credits to like further their career and stuff, but also they have to be enticing enough that they chose that show. So the
Right.
locations are always like really nice. And that is a fringe benefit, is that when I do these shows, it's always
There
like,
we
hey,
go.
do you want to go to a Colorado ski resort? Like, sure. The downside is, and this is what I have to stress to people, is that again, when you're working from like 6 to 6, you're
Yeah,
not, and then you
that's
have to eat
fair.
dinner and then you have to wake up the next morning. Like, you're not enjoying the city. Like, I still love the experience and it's still fun to travel there, but I have to
Yeah.
stress to people all the time, it is not a vacation. I don't get to go skiing. I just get to be in a place where it's snowing and it feels nice. And because I love the snow and the cold, I'm weird. But
Oh my gosh, I love the snow and cold too.
do
Oh,
you? Oh,
I
it's so
do.
good. I love it.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, snow,
Heat
cold,
and
rain.
humidity are the death of my joy in life. And I
Yep.
just constantly have been cursed to live in places where that's all I get.
I know, I was gonna say, wait, you live you live in the wrong environment.
Yeah, I'm married into it. What are you going to do? My wife is a lawyer, and you have to choose the state you practice in. And
Yeah, that's
they,
fair. I guess that's
they,
a trade-off.
it
Yeah.
turns out when we met, when she was graduating in 3 months, she wasn't going to base her future life's career based on a guy she'd only known for 3 months. Which I think is selfish
What?
of her. Totally
I
selfish of
know.
her.
Oh my
Should have
goodness.
should have just known then, right? Like, oh, that's. But the other thing I'm looking forward to, and this is cool, is like her big thing is she's a Broadway person. She loves musicals and stuff, and so she
Mhm.
got me into that, and we've gotten our daughter into it, and we've been taking her to shows as they come into town. But we're taking her to see Hamilton, which is going to be really cool. She's been listening to
Oh
the
my
soundtrack. She's be like on the way to school, she'll just be like, "Daddy, can we listen to the Hamilton songs?"
oh
And
my
she does that. She did the same
gosh.
with like Beetlejuice, and she did the same with Six, which is a real. I think you'd like Six. I don't know if you know
I
what Six
love
is. Okay,
fellow Broadway fan
I
here.
love Six. Six is great.
6 is incredible. I was so sad because they came to Portland when I was out of town for some work event, which again, I'm like, gaming industry work events are
Yeah.
pretty fun, but I missed out on 6 when they came
Oh
here, and I was
man,
so sad because gosh, it's such a powerhouse musical.
did
I love
you
it.
see that they're releasing it in theaters as a theatrical like experience? It's
No?
like next month you can go to theaters and see Six done as like a movie, and I'm really excited because I want more people to experience the show because it's super fun. For those that don't know, it's like, what if the story of all of Henry VIII's ex-wives was told as if they were like a Spice Girls pop band,
Oh,
and
it's so
each
good.
one of the ex-wives is based off of a different pop idol like style. So I love it. There's the one based on Beyonce. There's one based on Ariana Grande. There's one based on like the Britney Spears. One based on like the Adele style. It's really cool, and I dig it. But yeah, they're releasing Six as a limited release movie.
Thank you for this. I am I'm getting on the page for the
There
advanced
you go.
passes right
August,
now. Yes.
mid August, mid August. There you go. That's so cool. I had no idea you were also a Broadway
Oh
person.
my
But yeah, like
gosh,
our
yes.
second date as a couple was to Book of Mormon, and because that was my
So
gateway into it, was like the
fun.
comedy, more fun
Mhm.
musicals. Like I still haven't become like the musical person that loves like hardcore classic musicals. Like I'm not
Yeah.
um a Les Mis person, right? But like
Mm,
Avenue Q, Book of Mormon, Hamilton, more like contemporary Beetlejuice, Six,
yeah.
stuff like that. Like I get really into. So
Oh,
I don't know,
that's
it's
so
fun.
cool. I was one of the first songs I honestly remember hearing in the car was Les Mis. Like, we had a cassette tape of one of I think it was like the London cast, one of the London casts, and we had a cassette tape of it, and I remember just singing, Master of the House as a child. Like, just that was the song I knew by heart, and I loved it so much. Um, yeah, God, that's so cool. I love meeting other fellow Broadway fans.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like we just like see I love watching them. They're fun.
Very random, or not very
Break it down.
random, tangent,
Okay.
also in the Broadway realm. Have you seen the show Schmigadoon by
Yes,
any
and they're
chance?
turning into a musical.
And they turn it
We're
into a musical? Okay.
we're gonna go see it. We're going to New York
Oh
to
my
see it. I'm surprising her. She doesn't know. Because Alex Brightman is the lead, and so we're catching it
Yeah.
while he's still in the cast because we're big has been hotel people.
Mhm.
We're also terrible parents because our 5-year-old daughter watches it with us and knows all the songs and sings the lyrics and has met the cast at various Comic Cons.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
but that's a problem for her future psychologist. But but yeah, no, it's like so it's the same thing between Beetlejuice. Like he was the lead in that, and so we watched Schmigadoon the show, which was fantastic with
Yeah.
Keegan Michael Keys and
Mhm.
Cecily Strong. That was a fun show. And so
Yeah.
when we found out they were making a musical, we're like, oh, we gotta go. Like,
Oh, man. That's the one thing. I wish I was closer to the East Coast so that I could see Broadway musicals more frequently and just go to shows. I remember, oh my gosh, I cannot believe my brain is fried and I cannot remember the name. There was this, show that we saw a few years ago before they stopped, and it was one of those immersive theater productions where the show is happening, it loops 3 times, and as you walk through basically it was, formerly a hotel, I think, that they turned into a set, and you just as an audience member, you have a mask, you walk around, and your show is essentially what you choose to watch over the span of those 3 loops, and then they have a finale where
huh,
everyone comes together.
that's kind of cool.
I am blanking on the name. Ugh. If I remember it, I will let you know.
Yeah,
I
let me
don't
know.
think it's around anymore, but they have a Phantom of the Opera version of that that's coming out soon or happening soon, if not already. But yeah, I just love theater so much. I feel like
It's so
it's
fun. The whole
it's
experience is
so
lovely.
fun. I feel like people talk and look down on theater, uh, because in a lot of ways, it is the simplification of, different situations through song, and it sort of simplifies things in sort of how it presents, I think, at surface level, but I feel emotionally so attached to a lot of these shows, and I feel like they get to the core of just different feelings in ways that other mediums don't, so, yeah, I have a fondness for Broadway musicals and
Oh,
theater.
I love this. I love discovering this about you. That's so
Yeah.
fun. Now we
Yes,
have something
fellow
else we
Broadway
can talk
fans.
about. Yay. So
Sleep
I
No
just
More. That was
oh
the
there
name
okay.
of yep, I just remembered it. I was, like, brought up Google, and then my brain started working.
You loved I love when that happens. Your brain functioned the way it was supposed to and
Yes.
pulled out the information you were seeking. So I do we've already hit our hour. Dang. Who knew talking to you
Whoa.
was such a delight?
Likewise.
Just
Oh my goodness.
actually I did because I've talked to you many times and you're always a delight. But are you going to PAX West this year?
I am, so I will be
Yes.
seeing you there. I'm so
Heck
excited.
yeah. Are
Yeah.
you going to be hosting our everyone's favorite karaoke night?
Oh my gosh, I need to start thinking about that because yeah, I would love
It's
to
one of my
do
favorite parts
karaoke.
about getting there like opening night
Yeah.
is being part of that. It's so much
The
fun.
karaoke, it really is the best. And it's funny because every year I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna start the year with no or start the event with no voice," but sometimes sacrifices have to be made, and sometimes
Exactly.
it's your vocal cords.
You gotta suffer for your art sometimes, okay?
Exactly.
Um, I actually I've been meaning to ask this of you is that now that you do PAXs, but as under the Wholesome Games banner, like what is it that you go for? Are you going just for the socialization? Are you going to scout future potential games to showcase, just to like mingle or biz dev it
Yeah.
up? Like what are your goals? Like for me, I love to
Mhm.
do interviews and meet devs and discover new games,
Mhm.
but I imagine it's a little different for you.
Yeah, I think it's funny because it's similar to what I was doing even when I was at Kepler or Kowloon Nights, where when I go, I'm kind of doing double duty, where I'm working the show as a representative of Wholesome Games, where I am keeping an eye out for games that either we can feature in a future showcase or event on our social channels, scouting for potential games that we could potentially sign, building relationships with content creators, folks who have engaged with us as co-streamers or co-hosts even, and being able to just see them in person and say hi, which is always so nice. mostly because I'm like, we have the nicest community. Honestly, we have such wonderful people who are a part of this niche. And so that's just a joy. And then as an individual, I'm also there honestly looking at content and games that I could be creating for my own personal channel. So it's a little bit of everything, which I find fun and invigorating because it kind of makes it useful all around to be
Yeah.
there.
I mean, that's awesome, especially because for you, it's so much closer than East is.
It's so nice. It's a train ride away. So I just get to
Oh,
get on the train, read a book, play some games, and just watch the scenery go by without any sort of like
and what beautiful
TSA
scenery.
or yeah, anything like that.
I love that section of the country. Like Portland is, I assume Portland, Oregon is what we're
Mhm.
talking about. You're not
Yeah.
Portland, Maine. Um,
No.
but no, I love Portland, Oregon. I've been able to visit there twice, and it's such a cool area
Yeah. Oh my
and
gosh,
just
let
so
me know if
pretty.
you're in the area. You're
I
like, "I
will.
was there last weekend," and
No, there is a hold on. There is a work show coming up there
What?
in hold on. Pulling it up now. My 2026 trade show schedule. I do 51 trade shows this
Oh
year.
my gosh, that's
Not
so
personally. I
many.
can't do them all. Like I have a
Okay, I
team.
was like, "That's
Like
so much
there's so
travel."
there is, but the OAOS, the Oregon Orthopedic Oregon Association of Orthopedic Surgeons, is going to be on. Do. Sorry, I'm just. All right, here we go.
I'm
September
waiting.
25th to the 26th.
Heck yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we'll have to at least grab a coffee, if not dinner or something while you're here.
Heck yeah, love it. Okay.
Yay.
Sweet. Okay, well, why don't we end by telling people where they can follow you, Wholesome Games, all your fantastic work, and all that fun stuff?
Yeah. The best place to follow Wholesome Games things, honestly, just go to wholesomegames.com. It has our social channels, our YouTube, our newsletter, which you should sign up for. The newsletter is great. It's once a month. We curate games so that you don't have to sift through everything on Steam. And it's got little fun things that James has put together that include just stuff that we've been up to outside of, curating games. So yeah, wholesomegames.com for Wholesome Games things. For me personally, I would say YouTube. I'm Kim Chica on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. And then I also am pretty active on Instagram now. I feel like that's maybe my social media of choice. And I'm at Jenny Windom there because someone has the Kim Chica handle on Instagram.
What?
So
How?
unfortunately, I don't. I know it's a restaurant
That's
and they don't
weird.
even post.
Oh,
So
that's the worst.
yeah. But
No,
yeah, I'm
boo.
pretty active on Instagram. I also post pretty consistently now on YouTube. So if you'd like to see some of my other stuff, that is where you can find it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time
Yeah.
and your joy and all that fun stuff. It's just a delight to always talk to you. And it's just cool that
Likewise.
you had free time today to do so.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to get to chat and hang out with you.
I can't remember. Do you have, or you've been bestowed a sake before, right?
Yes, I
At
think
least, if not
I don't
you, one of the games you were representing.
yeah, it was one of the games I was representing. I think it was maybe I can't remember. I think we have 2, actually. We may have gotten 2 over the course of our tenure with Rose City Games, but I believe both of them are likely with Will or Corey since they were, like, the co-owners of the studio.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hope they still have them.
Me
I
too.
I love so okay. So at least you know about the concept.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
How could
So
I forget?
so I that's why because I like to end by with a nice little sake bliss, you know.
Yes.
But no, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to the next time our paths cross, which will
Mhm.
likely be in 2 months. You know,
Yes. So excited.
yay! I love it. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, and have a great night, everybody. Just remember,
Yay.
you know, don't be a bad person. Put more good in the world. All that fun stuff. Wholesome games, wholesome people. I came up with that on the spot. Feel free to use it. Uh, have a great night. Bye.
Bye.